And Halloween.
That's right. And speaking of Halloween, we're getting ready for it. First things first, we want to keep those kids safe out there. So Corporal Jerry Nuefeld joins us this morning from APD to talk about some tips on how to make sure that your kids are safe, because they're just, for the most part, running around the neighborhood, and you got to be careful.
They're very excited. They want to get out there and get to as many houses as they can. So as a parent, we need to make sure we go with them. Don't allow your child to go out there. You need to go with them. You guys have already kind of talked about, make sure you have a mask or something that's not covering their face so that they can see, a flashlight. If the porch lights are turned off, don't go knocking on that door. That individual doesn't want to participate for whatever reason. Also throw out the idea, there's a lot of churches and businesses and stuff that do activities. If you don't want your child walking through a neighborhood, take him to these other places where right now the weather's looking good, but next week you never know what's going to come in. So look at some of those as an option to get out there and do some of that trick-or-treating. Probably just as important also is, and this is probably the hardest thing, is don't let your kids start eating that candy till you get home and you can put it out there on the table. We don't see the things that we used to hear and see maybe many years ago, but just make sure that something hadn't already been opened. As a parent, you don't want your child eating something that somebody may have been handling or something like that, or possibly have tampered with, but like I said, we're really not seeing that. But just something that hadn't already been opened and tried to repackaged or something like that. So make sure you take it home, put it out on the table, you have plenty of light, you kind of go through it, and let them eat as much as you want.
Let them go nuts.
And no homemade treats. I mean, that's something that some will make candy apples or popcorn or whatever.
Balls,
you really kind of want to stay away from that.
That's something that we've seen that has really gone away in the last few years, just for obvious reasons, and we expect to see that again. We like the package. If you're going to do it, have packaged candy. It's sealed from the factory. People can see that. They'll have a little more confidence in it, and I think that'd be a good thing.
And you got to be careful too, as people driving around that night may not be aware, because we always talk about the kids and safety and walking your kids from house to house. A lot of people will get in the car and go to different neighborhoods. They got to be careful because kids don't always pay attention.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. If you're going to be out driving that night, whether you've got kids that are going trick-or-treating or you've got other activities you're going to, you need to be aware of that and watch out. Because we haven't got to the time change yet, it won't be quite as dark as early. So you've got to be out there watching for those kids, and especially after it gets dark, slow down a little bit more. That extra couple of minutes on your travel is not going to hurt anything.
Reflective wear, the flashlights, the little glow sticks, anything.
Anything to attract attention to yourself as far as the trick-or-treaters, you bet. Flashlights, glow sticks, anything reflective, anything like that, absolutely is what we recommend.
And we said yesterday in a story that we did, if you see anything suspicious, don't go approach it, call you guys first.
Absolutely, definitely call us. We will be, in the past, some of the Potter and Randall County adult probation guys have been checking on our quote registered sex offenders and making sure that they're not participating, and I'm sure that's going to continue as well. But again, that's why we want parents out there with the kids, because if they don't recognize the house or they don't know anybody on that block or something, as a parent we shouldn't just open the door and let our kid go. We kind of teach our kids year-round, you don't take anything from a stranger, but yet for whatever reason on Halloween we say, oh yeah, go ahead.
It's candy.
It's sending a mixed message. So whether the parent knows or family in the area, that's one thing, but just to open the door and let people go, we are kind of risking our children a little bit.
And so it is a fun night, but just take some precautions.
Absolutely. Take a few extra precautions. Everything will be great. If there's anything suspicious, as you said, make sure you call us. We'll have officers out. We don't put on additional officers, but we definitely have a full staff that night, and we'll be watching for anything and any suspicious activity as well,
including egging and toilet papering.
There is
all the stuff that goes on at his house.
There is the trick side of that that keep us busy as well. The pumpkins and that kind of thing.
The light fires on the front porch.
Don't give them any ideas. Well, we thank you guys so much for keeping all of us safe. Watch out for the Steves on Halloween, because you never know what they'll be up to. We've got Halloween treats coming up for you next. We'll be right back.
Thanks.
You're welcome.